Traders from around the world, what's going on? It's your boy Jeremy Alexander Newsome with Real Life Trading Daytrade. Hope everyone is doing phenomenal. We got the SPY on the board and we're going a little bit higher. This little pink line was my drawing, Mr. Squiggles, stipulating that we would open, retest, and continue higher. That is exactly what we did today. Crazy. Mr. Squiggles is good. This hourly chart, you have almost a tweezer bottom, so that's nice. Just a slow, steady trend coming up. Likely going to continue making new highs. And then towards the end of July, potentially expecting the retracement. Because this is where a lot of newbies are going to hop on bullish, right? Once it's finally confirmed bullish to them, this is where they'll get in. And then we'll have some type of retracement, either down to here or down to here, or maybe just a soft one into the moving averages. But again, that will be a dip buying opportunity, all things considered. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me go to a losing trade really quick. Here's Google, GOOGL, and I did get out of this trade today. So I had a bear call spread on Google, 12.20, 12.30, and the reason I got out was a few reasons. Number one, it was per my plan. I mentioned if we closed above this bearish candle yesterday, that I would look to exit. And I exited today. It did get into my spread at one point. The reason I did not unravel on this trade was because earnings was right around the corner and it expired this Friday. So I did lose on that trade, but not a lot. Lost 0.6 Rs, so that's not that big of a deal. I mean, with spreads, my goal is just to lose small when I do lose, because usually I'm so right on spreads and put sales I can just keep churning and burning. It's not really an issue. I'm still a little sour that I did not get into a bull put spread down here. I did set one up. I was just a little too financially zealous with my limit and just did not get filled. So that happens from time to time. However, I can talk about a trade that we won on today. So here's Clorox, CLX. And I've had a few traders win some money on Clorox. Nice little gap and go. White candle, gapping down on Clorox. Here's your long-term moving averages, right? It was below the 200. That was a good thing. Here was the 5-minute chart. And the 5-minute chart, you can see very nice, beautiful high wave candle, right? Good support right there. And we played this one two separate ways today. I played this breakdown, entry here, stop there, exit at an R, just because I felt it. It was in my bones. I was like, that's what I need to do. And then it retested again, and we set up a trade, entry here, stop there, trade down, rotate it over, roll down, and we got out down here for about 1/4 of an hour. So that was pretty good on Clorox. I did get stopped out of First Solar swing trade today, so here's FSLR. So First Solar, even though it's up today, ironically, right when I got stopped out. Earnings right around the corner, did get stopped out of First Solar. Not that big of a deal, I guess. Loss on First Solar, locked in a loss on Dropbox the other day as well, but I feel good about that. Right now, it's just not doing anything, slowly hanging out, chilling, being all cool, you know, playing some b-ball outside of school with a couple of guys who are up to no good. Netflix, NFLX, been talking a lot about Netflix recently, and I love it. I do have a pattern on Netflix that I think you all should kind of back trade if you're interested in it. This was the trade that we really just absolutely wrecked yesterday. I'm sure you all heard about that. I talked about it plenty, so I won't continue to talk about it. But bottom line, we got in pretty much at the exact low of the day and wrote it up nicely. So a lot of real-life traders made some solid coinage on Netflix. But if you want my idea on what I think Netflix does from here, feel free to go over to my trading view and click on that little link right there. This particular chart, and back in 2015 was the last time I could find that Netflix actually gapped down. It wasn't even from earnings either. Gapped down and formed a white candle. I don't know why it's taken so long to load, but anyway, it did actually end up the very next day gapping up and trading down exactly like it did today. So I would say feel free to take a little bit of a sneak peek and a gander at this particular pattern whenever it loads 15 minutes later. Once clicking on a button. Is that my internet speed? I don't know why it's going so slow. Anyway, so there it is, and you'll see that the very next day we gapped up and trade down. So I'm expecting us to continue higher over the next 2-3 days, filling the gap, rolling over some, bouncing around, and pretty much doing very similar to what happened over here on Netflix. So feel free to go back trade that time frame. That is July, September-ish 2015. So anyway, just my thoughts on Netflix. But really, really good trades yesterday, and yeah, feeling pretty good about it. So overall, losing on First Solar, losing on not Dropbox. Yeah, Dropbox was yesterday, but losing on First Solar, losing on Google, winning on Clorox, break even on the day. So didn't really have any big gain today, but today, you know, there's another day in the market. Someone told me the market's open tomorrow, so that's good. Micron Technology, I do have a lot of options expiring this Friday, so I'm looking at locking in about an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of premium Friday. MU is one of those put sales, sold at 44. Tons of traders in Micron Technology. Sandra wanted me to look at this one for her, and trend looks good. I mean, for those who are in, you're probably looking at selling around 62.5. Daily chart looks good. Weekly chart looks good. Morningstar on a weekly looks solid to me. Here's Crocs. So I had someone request Crocs, CROX, and Crocs was up 2% today. Looks pretty okay. I'm not in Crocs, don't have any position. I'm not going to play it personally, but look at this trend. I mean, that is a nice trend on Crocs. This was a beautiful, I mean, look at this S-curve. Meow, 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 meow. What more do you want? That is so nice. Gorgeous pullback into the 100, pull back into the old resistance, new support. Nice bullish candles in here. So yeah, if you're in Crocs bullish, I would just say look to sell up here into the 20 area as it's approaching into earnings. Next on the list, another stock that I have a put sale on, IQ. Gapped up and traded down today. Weird. I don't think anyone could have expected it to retest like that. I mean, that's just so strange. Here's the hourly chart, and we did pull back into some pretty good moving averages on IQ. I'd like to see it come back to the 50, so about $35, and start to watch it kind of bounce from there. But overall, trend is bullish on IQ, and there's going to be tons of traders who are celebrating this Friday when we did some put sales on IQ. I mean, guys, got 45 cents on an IQ put sale. $45 a contract. That is pretty solid. Over 2% on IQ. That's going to expire Friday, and I'll probably do another one. The biggest candle, the most important moving average on IQ right now will be this 50 EMA. So as long as we are above that, I think IQ will kind of continue to remain bullish. But buy the dip right now. Trend looks bullish. US Steel had a little bit of a pop today. I'm in an iron condor. It did close above the 100 today. Pretty strong support, but it could trade all the way up to 40. I know earnings are in August, so we'll have to just see and kind of keep an eye out on what earnings does. If I do anything with this condor that I have on US Steel, I probably will unravel the bear call spread because the weekly chart looks pretty strong, right? You got some higher highs and you got some higher lows. Look at this trend on US Steel. So this trend on US Steel looks really, really toasty. Nice looking trend. So if I do unravel anything, it'll probably eventually end up being the bear call spread, but we'll see. There's still a lot for it to battle. Nice little double bottom. So maybe we come up in here and we actually retest it and then it expires worthless. We'll see. But for those of you who don't have the condor, US Steel looks like it could slowly creep higher. Here's Zillow. So we went from X to Z and skipped to Y. Here's the weekly chart on Zillow, and yeah, we're slowly churning and burning, making higher highs and higher lows. The trend looks good on Zillow. Here's the daily time frame. You got a bearish inside day candle. Look at these two candles with volume. Wow. Jeepus creepus. So down here, look at these. So you had some really nice movements right at the 50 EMA. You got this hammer candle with almost identical highs. Wow. And 2 pennies away. So your entry would have been $59.40 with your stop right below that hammer. So if you're in that trade, I would just say keep holding. Today's an inside day candle. But if it makes a higher high and a higher low, the trend is bullish. I mean, one candle can change everything, but just have your stop, you know, in place and see where it goes from there. My buddy David requested LFVN, and LFVN Life Vantage Corporation, making some decent little moves. Very strong trend. Don't have any position in this one, but here's the weekly chart, and you have a lot of buying coming in on Life Vantage. Tons and tons. Massive amount of volume. The biggest challenge, though, is the move has already happened. So don't buy right now. At least I wouldn't. Here's the long-term moving averages, and we're hitting those at this exact moment in time, both of those. So realistically, this is a pretty good place to lock in some profit on Life Vantage. At least I feel so. I feel that way. The trend is nice and bullish, though, and that could absolutely help with some traders who are looking for a bullish trend. So if and when this one does pull back, beautiful. Stocks like this with that really, really fast move that no one's really ever heard of before, I think it could pull back to 7 at some point, maybe late August, early September. But if it does that, nice little 30% pullback, really nice spot to buy. And I like to talk about a trade that I missed every now and then, and this would be one of them. Berkshire Hathaway's. Who should I blame for not telling me about this gap today? I don't know how I missed this one exactly, but I should fire myself. Berkshire Hathaway's. So this green line, pink line, I drew this pink line back here on this doji, and I said, you know what? I thought about shorting it, but I felt like it had already moved too far. This setup that I have right here was actually a swing trade I was considering, and I never just took it. Just obviously the market going higher, I didn't feel like it'd be a good idea to short Berkshire Hathaway's. But what's important about that is you can look at this and see and determine, okay, if Newsome thought it was going to trade up and roll over, other people thought that, right? Not saying you guys follow my podcasts and my traders and the traders in the room. I just mean other people. Just because I think something doesn't mean that no one else in the world has that exact same idea. So if you look at Berkshire on a weekly chart, definitely people out there thought Berkshire was going to retest that 50 and roll over. The fact that it didn't, and the fact that I can look at those candles and make that analysis and see, oh yeah, some people definitely went short yesterday. They got absolutely wrecked today on this gap up. I mean, this gap was gnarly. And then you have the 100, 200 something moving average. You had some resistance. Once it broke above 196.71, there was no reason not to be in this thing. And here's the most undaunting part of all that. Here's the 1 minute chart. I mean, this 1 minute time frame, when I looked at this trade, I was like, really, Newsome? How did you not look at this 1 minute chart? Look at this. You get a bearish candle, doji, small bullish candle, and an indecision candle. You get 4 minutes to enter here and put your stop there. Oh, I mean, that is 3 R's by the first 30 minutes of the day. And then it rotates down, it trades sideways for a while, it congests, and then it breaks out again. Gosh, what a slacker. So I missed that trade entirely. Too bad. But anyway, good gap. So am I saying that I think Berkshire Hathaway's continues higher? I do. And if Berkshire Hathaway's continues higher, then most likely the markets will as well, at least for a short period of time. Anyway, that's my stocks. Those are all the stocks I had requested to look at. So next time, I'll be back Friday for a new list of stocks that you guys want me to check out. And until then, remember, love life, and trade. You guys rock. Bye.